Whoa. Well, what is going on, everybody? Glad to see you guys are all here. Welcome to another Friday. This is amazing. I'm so stoked. Got the podcast stuff going. Super glad to be able to keep doing this. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of things happening in the world, but I think I'm gonna take a snooze pill when it comes to some political stuff because I'm not feeling it anymore. I'm done messing around with that junk. All it is just a bunch of BS and people debating and crying over stuff that's never gonna fucking change. So I think I've learned my lesson. I think I've figured that's enough. No more. Oh man. Sorry. So let me see. I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear me? Everybody hear me out there? Hopefully you guys can. Sorry. All right. Yeah. Audio's doing good. All right, cool. So before we get started, I just want to tell everybody, if you are not on the Seeker of the Unknown page, please go to it now because I'm going to get off of my page and just go straight to the Seeker of the Unknown page. So let's go ahead and do the intro, and then I will see you guys then. Go ahead and take these off real quick. Right. Off there. All right. Let's go up here. Make sure that we are live. And everybody can see it. Yes. All right, good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to keep streaming on the Seeker of the Unknown page. So I will see you guys back in a bit. Enjoy the video, and we'll have our discussion. So see you in a few. All right, you guys are back. Cool. Well, it is Friday. April is already going to be halfway through, or is halfway through, and we are winding down 2025 like it's nobody's business. But it seems like this year is going to be going by quick. Last year seemed to, the years are just going by faster and faster. It doesn't even really matter how you look at it. Yeah, I guess I'll leave that open. Seems like it was brighter with it open, so I'll do that. Yeah, I wanted to just get an open mic. So if you guys are on, and you guys would like to come on, I know I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook right now. My X platform is not working with me. So I'm going to go back, invite guests, copy this. If you want to come on to the show, and you would like to be on, here is the Restream link. You guys go ahead and click on that, and we will get you on. We'll have a discussion, and just we'll go from there. But yeah, I was having a discussion earlier this week with a family member of mine, and we were talking about the episode where I did the topic of the Anunnaki and the discovery of Gilgamesh's tomb. And they had just been, like blown away because they were asking me some questions on it. And I told them, I said, well, have you seen the video that I did of, the topic of Gilgamesh and Enkidu, and that whole battle between him and Enkidu, and just the whole thing of how they became best friends, and him Gilgamesh searching for the secret of immortality, to face or to conquer death, because he wanted to continue being with Enkidu, because it was his companion, it was his best friend. He felt like he was his equal, and he went searching on this epic around the world to find this missing piece of his life of trying to conquer death. And they were like, no, I never even heard anything about it. And I'm like, well, let me fill you in. So I just pretty much gave them the rundown. And they were pretty much blown away, because they had told me, well, I've seen bits and pieces of this, I've heard of it, but I've never really looked into the story itself. So I told them, hey, just go back in the playlist on YouTube, and you can find it, and you will be able to watch it. And if you guys haven't already, you guys can go to YouTube. I have the playlist of all the videos in their selections since the beginning, almost 2 years now. You guys can go back and rewatch every single episode that I've done on the topics that I've covered, ranging from, like I said, Gilgamesh, UFOs, government conspiracies, topics concerning the secret space program, to the hidden agendas of these secret societies that were using these stage cover-ups to get rid of people like John Jacob Astor IV, the Titanic sinking, the JFK assassination, anything pertaining to these societies and what they have been capable of doing. I've tried to cover it. The mystery surrounding death, and the cultural ideas or ideologies behind what it is that we are so fascinated with, life after death, or people are it has gone from being a subject of being a revered issue in our life, where before we used to be able to say, oh man, I welcome death, bring it on. But it seems like over the centuries, recently, we have been steered away from this ideology of accepting death and accepting what is going to happen after we are done, like shedding this skin, this suit off, and allowing our spirit body to return back to where it is that we came from. And I think that religion has done a lot of that masking and that fear mongering to be able to steer people away from that true nature of what it is and who we are and what it is that we are here for. And um, I've said it before, I've said it a lot, on this podcast, I'm not here to just judge people or steer people away from their faith-based ideologies. um, Being a person who was raised baptized Catholic and raised in a Christian home, I totally get it, but my eyes have been open to a lot of things that I knew ever since I was younger that were not what I thought they were. It always just seemed like something was off, something was happening, something was not right. And my search for this knowledge, this information, has led me down a path that has opened my eyes to a broader spectrum of things, um, and seeing things in life that I have gone through in a wider aspect, rather than walking this life on the with these blinders on, based on this information that all these people have told me throughout my life, that this is how it is, this is the way it's going to be, and if you try to look out anything outside of this, it's the devil, or it's going to lead you down a path of destruction. Anything outside of this is not of quote unquote God. And seeing outside of that and realizing it, it kind of reminds me of the creation story in the ancient Sumerians, which the Genesis adaptation of Adam and Eve was originated from. Excuse me. And you know like I said, people don't understand that that the Bible was not the original creation story. That the ancient Sumerian texts, which predate Christianity by at least 5 to 6 thousand years, um, actually has the original Adamu and Satam um, names in the cuneiform tablets. And Eve was not actually the first wife of Adam. Lilith was actually the first wife of Adam. And she did not subject herself to being below him the way that, he was wanting her to be. She wanted to be his equal. She wanted to be just as important as he was, just because he was a man. And she, decided that she was going to not have it, and decided to leave, and was cast out of the Garden of Eden, the test area that the Anunnaki gods were conducting these experiments on, and then they ended up making Eve, who became his second wife. But getting back to the story of what I was trying to say is that people see this creation story and they think that in the Bible everything got switched around, and they think that that is fact. But when you look at the original creation story and you see what it is that was actually being done, or what was happening, it was not that Eve was listening to the quote unquote devil, or the serpent in the garden. It was, in the ancient tablets, it was Enki, who the god, one of the Holy Trinity, the original Trinity, Enki, Enlil, and their father Anu, was trying to progress them, was trying to help them and give them information, and was telling them, hey, listen, they're telling you not to seek this knowledge, because if you do, then you are going to be like them, and I am going to help you get this understanding and this knowledge, so that way you can progress yourself, you can be better at being able to understand and know and be wise to what is really happening around you, so that way you are not blinded to the fact that you are just a creation here on this planet, that you are much more than what you are being told you are. And in that original creation story, that is what was happening, was that the knowledge that the God of the Bible was telling them, if you Eat anything you want in this garden. Seek it out. But if you go to this tree of the garden of knowledge, and in the garden, and you eat of this tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you will die. That was not the case. What it was is that the knowledge and the information that was given to them by Enki actually set them free. It opened their mind so that way they were able, what he did is he progressed their knowledge through information by altering their DNA and their mental capacity to understand and retain and have better knowledge. And somewhere down the line, it ended up just becoming distorted to where it was a bad thing that was happening. And it was like, now you see why, if God tells you don't do something, don't do it, because you're going to end up paying the price, because they got kicked out of the garden, and Eve had to suffer for the rest of her life by being suffering with pain and childbirth, and Adam having to till the soil and sweat and breaking their back by knowing what labor was. That is not the case. When you break free of that ideology and that mindset that has been plaguing humanity in the forms of these I want to say, what is the word I'm looking for? Not slave mentality, but it's a controlling, domineering ideology that has just gone to the point where we've got to call BS on it, because it's one of those things where if you look outside of it and you realize that, like Thoth, who in the Emerald Tablets was saying, knowledge is power and power is knowledge, and he who seeks this knowledge will acquire the power, and he who has the power will have the knowledge and the understanding to know his path. And that is not what they want. That is not what these people who have been, shoving all this stuff down everybody's throat for the past, 100, for the past centuries, and then just getting everybody bound to, good Lord. We're sitting here talking about loaves of fish and resurrection on this weekend. And it's like, people don't see the paganism of where this came from and why this celebration is happening. If you look outside of what you think and you realize that the adaptation of pagan ritualism that has gone into adapting it into these religious cultures, it blows my mind. And people are talking about the devil this, and God does not allow this or that, and it's like, please, just go take a seat in your in your pew and just go do what you do best. Because if you're not going to understand that seeing things outside of what you've been told based on what is factual and based on what is not based on myth or based on somebody saying that it is, this is things that are rooted in fact that you cannot hide from. And like I said, I think that people forget that we have been slaves to this system, and they have forgotten who they are and what they are. That I don't believe, if we're going to keep going on with this topic of religion, I think that people forget what Jesus did or why he came here, to enable people to understand that not only was he sent divinely to implant knowledge into people of, look, you are in this world, you are not of it. Just because we are here does not mean that you are here. You come from the sun. You come from the eternal, the infinite, and all that is in the infinite is within every one of us. And it's just like he would tell his apostles, you sit here and you talk about these great things that I do, but yet you don't understand that you too are capable of doing these things. That these things that you see me do, not only will you do them, but you will do things greater than I. He would speak to his apostles in parables and tell them things. And the apostles sat down and they were asking him, Master, why is it that every time you speak to people in parables? And they're like, just be real with us. Tell us what it is that is really going on. And, they could not accept what he was trying to tell them, but he was telling them, look, I'm talking to them because they don't understand what you have seen and witnessed with your own eyes and with your own ears. I'm trying to break it to them because they will get it in coding. If I tell you, you should understand. But then we see that Thomas does not understand. Doubting Thomas, that man had always had to have something where he was always doubting. He was always putting a question mark. Well, why? Well, how come? And what if? And it was like Jesus had told the Roman centurion that ended up following him later on, because he realized that, what he was trying to free them from, these men and these people that witnessed and got to hear what his true teaching was, is that we are free of this reality. Break free of what is happening. Do not listen to this place of worship that you come to because you see them like harlots, whores in a market, and they're selling and making money in the house of God that is supposed to be, quote unquote, holy. The man went in there and was kicking tables over and whipping people and running them out of the temple and pretty much cursing them and telling them, you sit here and call yourselves sons and daughters of God, but yet you are doing things that are unjust. You are doing things that are contradicting what you're saying, and yet you are doing it literally in this house. And when you walked into the temple and he was talking to the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and he was telling them, yea, I say unto you, this very day you sit here and claim to know what is right, what is wrong, what is good. You sit here and claim to know that only you can have the pathway to the Father. But I'm telling you now, those days are over, because these people will see and taste heaven before you do. People don't realize what he's saying. That the pathway to where we are supposed to be is not laid in this religion. Jesus was not a Christian. Jesus was not a religious man. He came to set what? The captives free. He came to break people's minds of this fake reality that we have been born into. Just like he said, lest a man enter into the kingdom of heaven, he should be what? Born again. And the man kept asking him, Nicodemus, I think it was, Master, you keep saying how a man must be born again. How can a man enter his... We got shots fired. Huh. I hope everybody's okay. But we have Nicodemus asking him, Father, Messiah, Master, how is it that I can be born again how can I enter my mother's womb a second time and be born again? And what is it that Jesus was telling him? It's easier for you to go through an eye of a needle, eye of a camel, or a needle of an eye of a needle. And the rich man's son that came to him and told him, Master, how can I be worthy? How can I Master, and be able to follow you? How can I get to the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus turned around and looked at him and said, give up everything that you own and follow me. Well, my Father worked so hard for all this stuff. You just want me to give it away? Yeah. If this is what you want, this stuff, this material things, does not mean anything. Give it up and follow me. What was he really saying there? You can't take this stuff with you. It doesn't matter. It is going to what? Fade away. People get so stuck on the reality that they see in front of us, and they hear and they see and they taste and they touch, that they forget this is not reality. This is not real. It is going to be gone. It is going to fall away. That when we die, we return to that which is eternal. Which is in each and every one of us. He said unto his apostles, does it not say in the word that ye are sons and daughters of God? That you are not gods? The essence of what is the Creator is in each and every one of us. It is in everything that is in this planet, that is in this ether, that is in this space around us. I am not going to go seek that which is outside of me when it is in me. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because when I started looking into it, that's what I started realizing. You know, people that have this carnal mind of thinking that what they are looking and reading at, or reading in these churches, in these temples, in these buildings, is going to set them free. You are barely getting not even the smidgen of the truth, of the reality of what really is. I don't need to go to a building. I don't need to sit here and go, God, help me for all this stuff. Make it happen for me. Do this for me. What I need to do is look internal and say, you know what? I know I can do this today. I know I can make this happen. The struggle is real, but I'm going to fucking push through it. Why? Because the essence of who is the Creator of all gave me the power to be able to make it happen. It's going to hurt. Reality sucks. Okay? This life is on a different level, but we've all been placed here to experience it in some form or another. Which is why Jesus told his apostles, seek not what is outside of you, but within. For the things of this world are set here to bring you and tear you down. But like I said, that was just one conversation that we had, and I tried telling family members or cousins, or whoever. I'm like, listen, you don't want to get deep into this, because I will break it down to you. But it's only if you are ready to hear what is being said. It is only for people who are willing to break free of this mental bondage, of this spiritual bondage, of this nonsense that is, the ideologies that have been branded onto our brain. It's breaking free of all this stuff and understanding the power that we have as these creations of the Creator. Not only that, but realizing that the story of everything of what is and what we have thought was real is wider than that. And I got into the subject of, the pyramids, that whole new discovery of these findings underneath the pyramids, which is just seems like everybody just blew it off. But it's like, this is uncovering a lot of things that should be fucking questioned. I mean, Jesus. We are looking at a discovery of a lifetime here. that rewrites history, rewrites everything that we know, that should be categorized as a what the fuck moment, because we have all been told one narrative and it just got thrown out of the kitchen with the bathwater, out the window. But yet we sit here and we think that, you know, fucking Katy Perry and them going to space is the hottest shit ever. And don't even get me started on that, because like I said, I'm not here to push this down anybody's throat. I'm just saying, look at it from this point of view. If we've been to fucking space, why are we not creating shuttles to the fucking moon? Why are shuttles not being diverted and going? I mean, hey, here's a fucking ticket. They gave us the bullshit of, well, we don't have the technology to go back to the moon, but yet they have these fucking CGI videos showing these lunar rovers going back to the fucking moon and landing on the lunar surface. You have rockets going into orbit to the fucking space station, but we can't go to the moon. But they did it back in the 60s with less technology? Does that make any fucking sense to anybody? And I get it. People are so fucking brainwashed that they don't want to let that idea go. Whoa, we did it back then because... Okay, so you're telling me that a fucking paperclip and some fucking tinfoil made it back in the 60s, the 50s, but we can't do it today with fucking advanced technology now? Make it make sense to me. Please make it make sense to me. I do not believe that we've done it. I do not. I mean, you've got Stanley Kubrick, the man who filmed the fucking moon landings, before he died, confessing, saying, I fucking staged it. It was a lie. I did it. I sold my soul. I did it. I became a famous filmmaker. And, you know, it's like, well, he was a brilliant filmmaker before, but now his notoriety jumped to a fucking higher level because he did this dirty deed for the government. And it's like, okay, Russia ran the fucking video imagery and everything through AI, 97 fucking percent fake, CGI'd, what do you call it? Where digital imprinting, photoshopping. If we've gone to space, why have we fucking not gone back to the moon? Why are we not colonizing it? There was an article that came out 4 years ago, I believe, from NASA, stating that the moon was not even outside of Earth's orbit; it was in it. And this was a declassified document that came out on the government webpage, the FBI and the CIA documentation, stating that the moon was not, and from NASA released it, saying that the moon was not outside of Earth's radius. It was within it. But nobody said anything about this. Why? Because we keep getting shoved to this narrative of take what I'm telling you for fact and don't do your own fucking diligence and your own research. Because if you're knowledgeable and you question a narrative, then it makes it a stumbling block, because now you're a problem. Because if you can get other people to jump on the bandwagon with this and question everything, then you don't have enough fucking sheep. People start turning back around instead of following the herd. Now you're fucking putting a wrench in the works. People don't start questioning things. People don't start looking at things. People don't start saying, hey, there's something fucking wrong with this. You know, people are waking up. They're understanding. The information on everything that we thought we knew is coming out. And, you know, it's hard for people that question the narrative, because you can't sit here and talk about this with everybody. You can't come out and just be like, hey, what did you hear about this whole thing about, you know, these reptilian races or these alien life forms that have been living on the planet for a long time now and are still in our societies today and have possibly intermingled into these royal families and these elites, people look at you like you're fucking crazy, man. But it's information that is out there. People don't like talking about this stuff because that's what has become of people that are questioning the narrative, because you are now all of a sudden you're an outsider. You are looked down upon as a quote unquote conspiracy theorist, which was coined back in the 60s to end up making people look stupid or make people look weird or to humiliate people and to make them look non-credible by the government. So it's stuck. So anytime you have people that bring up anything, I mean, look at J6. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist because you believe that the government had something to do with it. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist if you think that the Democrats had a hand in it. Come on, man. You know, let's keep it real here. We need to start questioning everything. I mean, you know, what do you guys think? What is your guys' thought process on this? Am I the only one that's thinking this right now? I mean, you know, I've been spewing all this information out for over 2 years now, you know, and I've met a lot of people who have had the same ideas, who have had the same thoughts, who have had more expounding thoughts on what I've brought out. And, you know, that is why I love doing this, is because, you know, we are not alone. We are not the only people thinking about this stuff. We are not the only ones going, hey, you know, there's something fucking else going on here. We need to question it. But it becomes a process of whether we as a collective will ever get the answers that we truly are seeking. I mean, you know, we're still waiting on the fucking information on a lot of this UFO stuff. Last year when they came out in January and they had the congressional hearings from these whistleblowers, what the fuck else? What happened? Nothing. Nothing. They literally told us that, yes, aliens are real. UFOs are fucking real. They have been here for a long time. We have the bodies. We have the fucking flights or the craft. We've reverse engineered them. You know, and yeah, that's it. Where the fuck is the evidence? It's like they fucking stuck the tip in and then they just left us hanging. You know, it's like, what is going on? Like, are we ever going to get the truth? Are we ever going to get the whole package? You know, this whole thing with the Epstein list. I mean, we know the fucking people are corrupt. Now somebody posted that I guess they're going to end up releasing the videos showing a lot of these corrupt government officials that were caught having sex with these minors at these Diddy parties. Is that true? We know it's happening. We want to see fucking arrests. We want to see fucking people go to jail. We want to see fucking Ghislaine Maxwell get what she deserves. Not only that, but that whole fucking thing of the Mossad with her dad and all these other agents, Jeffrey Epstein still being alive. Yeah. This rabbit hole goes deeper than what everybody thought. Why do you think it is that a lot of people that have had AI, okay, I'm going to say this. History is written by the victors, yes? We know that. Those who conquer other countries, those who liberate or defeat their enemies in battle will obliterate not only just the people, but the information regarding the people. They don't want to have these people continue on with anything to do with them. So what do? You erase as much as you can of these people. You don't mingle with them. You kill them off. You don't allow them to mate, which is why when you would have these big hordes that would go through these villages, they would wipe the men out. They would not have sex with their women because they did not want to mingle their own blood with them. They would not allow them to tell their stories. They would not allow them to worship the way that they would worship. They would not allow their customs and their cultural ideologies to exist. You see that even here in the United States. And I talk about the erasing of a cultural, historical knowledge base that we had here in America, in the Americas, what we know as America now, but what a lot of us call ancient Egypt, the old world, the old original empire. And yes, I do believe that there was an empire here. There was a thriving society of culture and knowledge and information and technology that was here in the United States. It's fact. It's been suppressed. People don't want to talk about it, but it is being found all over the place. Everywhere. Kincaid, when he found that cave in the Grand Canyon, and he said he had Egyptian, what he thought was Egyptian petroglyphs, hieroglyphs in the walls, finding Egyptian artifacts, finding ancient giants, males and females. You look into the Grand Canyon and you see that these rock formations depict what looks just like Egyptian buildings, structures, layouts. And that goes back all the way to the Anunnaki when they were mining for gold. I don't think that the Grand Canyon is millions of years old. I think it was a washout from a pre-flood that ended up wiping out a lot of the civilizations. And what you're seeing is runoff. The waterways carving the canyons out of the bedrock. I don't think it's millions of years old. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe. And as I said, the historical narrative that we have been told has only been through the eyes of those who control the narrative. They are the ones who depict what we should know. They are the ones who tell us what is quote unquote true. They are the ones who tell us what they think we should hear. History has been destroyed. History has been rewritten. History has been altered. Factual evidence has been turned into myth. Legends has been turned into non-factual evidence. And it has been brought up, and then you had Darwinism. Man came from an ape, blah, 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 blah. Well, why the fuck aren't there apes still producing fucking humans or evolving into humans now? Why are we not seeing fucking fish evolving now into human beings? We haven't seen this shit happen, ever. It's baloney. It is a narrative that has been pressed to people to get them off of what is fact. And now it is being uncovered, and a lot of information is being fucking brought out that we were made here. We were produced here as fucking hybrids from a race that came from the stars. We were genetically altered from these beings that were here. Our DNA even shows it. There is so much more that is being suppressed from us that they do not want us to know. And for us to be ignorant to the fact and say, well, that's not true. That couldn't be real. That is not what God wanted us to. Shut up. Stop being ignorant and fucking realize that there's truth and there's factual evidence of things that are not in this narrow mindset. Wake up. Wake up. There is more to this life, to what we thought we knew. And people just do not want to see it, and they will never see it. Those people who do not want to wake up from this, these people that do not want to understand and realize that, yes, there is more to this. Hold on. Oops. Goodness. um, you know, and like I said, it's one of those things where you're like, you want to be able to help people understand, but you can't wake people up. You can only give them the information. And if they're ready to understand it and if they're ready to accept it, they will accept it. Um, they will understand it. The people who have realized that they have, this is not their first go around here. And that's what I've come to realize in my journey through this, is that this has not been my first time doing this. Um, and I am just now understanding, you know, from the past couple of years that, I'm waking up to what is really happening, and I'm understanding and raising this elevation of what is happening with me, to be able to see my path clearer and understand that whole thing of where I've come from and where I've been, and trying to help people understand it by giving that information out, because it does no good for anybody to sit here and say, oh, well, let me hoard all this knowledge and keep it for myself because I don't want anybody else to progress with me. I would rather it just keep it to myself. And yes, there are people that do this. There are people that are like that. But that is not the purpose of knowledge. That is not the purpose of power. That is not the purpose of information. We free each other. We help to break people out of that mindset. And the more people that we can break free out of that, the better we will be at helping society to further their progression and elevate their vibrational frequency, to realize that this is all just a game. This is all just a spiritual reborn, regeneration, where we enter this flesh and we experience life in the moment of birth to the moment of death. And when we die and we shed this skin again, we say, man, what an experience that was, or what a shitty fucking experience that was. I don't want to have to do that again. Either we do it again, or we progress and we've reached the ability to say, I've learned my lesson, I've gone the distance, and I've done what I've had to do, and I don't want to do it anymore, or let me experience in a different way. um, my thing of it is this, is that when people who are, um, looking to best others, or to say, I'm going to do better than you without helping people, um, that to me is just a shitty way to live life. Um, there was a guy that was homeless here, and I gave him $20 because he was like, I need gas. And I'm like, well, do you need food? Do you need anything else? Do you need help? Do you need do you need me to drive you to the gas station to get gas? And he's like, no, no, I can get it. Whether or not this man needed help or not, whether he was just asking for money to get money, that's on him. I've had to learn that if I don't help people, if I just watch other people suffer and go through life without me trying to do something to help them, how am I progressing me internally. Because I'm no fucking better than the people that just allow people to suffer without saying, hey, do you need help? Do you need anything? Is there anything I can do for you? You know what I mean? And if you don't do that spiritually and physically, then what better are you at trying to sit here and say, well, I'm going to help somebody? Because you're not. You're not doing anything. You're just flapping at the gums. And that is why I say where, um, and it really makes people mad and it gets people upset, especially people that I'm close with and that, I'm around a lot, that don't want to understand this or see this. Is like I tell them, you have these mega fucking churches, and right outside of their doors, there's fucking hungry people. There's people in their community that are starving. There's children who have no fucking place to lay their head. There's homeless people that are sleeping under bridges. But you have these pastors who live in these mansions, driving around yachts, got fucking planes, jets, helicopters. Aren't you supposed to be an example? Jesus said, give up all you have and follow me, not fucking hoard up your fucking treasures on earth. It's kind of like fucking calling the kettle black, right? I mean, you're going against everything that you're supposedly supposed to be teaching. Oh, well, God doesn't have a problem with people being wealthy. Yes, he does. He fucking said it in the Bible. Give up everything you have and follow me. Stop storing up your treasures on this earth. Jesus didn't sit there and collect money from people and became wealthy because people were like wanting to give him money. He told his apostles, if you go into a place and somebody offers you to their house to feed you, then you eat, but you don't go asking people for food. You don't go asking them for things. That is not who we are. Our mission here is to free people's minds, to give them the knowledge and the information that is going to break them from this mentality of thinking that this life is what they are seeing, that it means that this reality is real, or that this what we see is reality. It's not. He wanted to break people's minds down to free them so they weren't sitting here meditating on this day in and day out crap. That is the true message that he was trying to. He was telling everybody, listen, this is not happening. Stop. But anyway, so is there anybody that's got anything that they want to share? Anybody that really got anything they want to say? I mean, I know I probably got a couple people that have came on and like, fuck this guy. He's going to burn in hell for sure. Like I said, people will not understand because they do not want to see. And that is not my prerogative. I'm not here to make you believe anything. I'm here to give the information. It's up to you if you take it. And if you don't, so be it. That's not my problem. So, another thing that was being brought up too that um, was, you know, just really like, it baffles me that, um, people can accept things that are myth, that has been distorted into truth. But yet, when you present the facts and the truth to them, they don't want to see it, or they don't want to believe it. And you have a lot of misconception that comes from this, because now you're trying to tell me something that is not factual as truth. And as I said, I mean, for people that want to, push a narrative, give me some facts. I want to see it. I can give you the information and what I have, and we can debate this, which is good. Because like I said, I mean, you have people that want to tell you, well, this is fact. Okay, well, show it to me. And like I said, I had people, that were, their gun ho act. What is happening right now in the government? Like I said, I'm done with politics. I'm done with it. I will always love my country. I will always love my country. I serve my country with some of the best fucking men that are my brothers, and we did what we had to do at a time where our country needed us. Do I believe that what we did was based on an honorable thing at the time? Yes, because based on the information and the facts that we were given, we fucking needed to go over there and kick some ass, and we did it. But getting the information and understanding of what was really taking place and what was happening now, seeing it unfold and getting more information out of it, it makes me mad. It really pisses me off, and it should make anybody mad. And it makes people mad when you bring the information to them and they're like, man, that's kind of stretching it, man. How is it fucking stretching it? They've done it before. They've presented scenarios in order to get us and push us to a war in the scenarios that were benefiting who? It didn't benefit me. It didn't benefit you. It benefited those who progressed and got rich off of it, who got what they wanted at the expense of millions of lives. Vietnam War, World War II. We have been manipulated to a point that we have put too much faith in what these people tell us based on what their facts are and not what the actual underlying truth is. And with the information that has come out and has surfaced from so many people with so much, if you can't see the lies that are in front of your face, keep walking. This is not for you. You're not going to get it. You're not going to be swayed. You are not going to hearken to what the deep nature of a lot of things that are going on around us is happening. What is really happening? I will never forget the day that 9/11 happened. I could think of it in my mind over and over and over again. I will never forget what I was doing, where I was, everything. And seeing what I was seeing and looking back, stepping outside of emotions and looking back, I can totally see how I could be lied to and fooled, because I was mad. I was pissed. I was enraged. I was upset. Fuck this. These motherfuckers think they're going to get away with this. Down to the recruiters I went. Six years later, get out, deal with everything that I'm dealing with, start getting into this whole thing of getting myself back on track mentally and physically, and trying to progress myself in a better way, and questioning things, questioning narratives, questioning scenarios, questioning everything. Because I started realizing, again, just like I did when I was younger, that things just did not seem right. And looking back at that stuff and realizing and looking at it and questioning those narratives, I had questions. Why were the videos taken from the Pentagon? Why does the fucking hole not look like a fucking plane went through it? Why does it look like a fucking Tomahawk missile or a cruise missile went through that son of a bitch? Where are the fucking plane parts from all these crashes? You've got passports of these fucking terrorists that are fucking being found. Some of these terrorists are still alive today. Nobody's questioning that shit. Oh, these fucking 12 or 20 fucking terrorists took over. Yeah, well, fucking like 12 of them are fucking still alive. So if that's the case, where are the fucking passengers from the plane? Why were these fucking bombs planted, or why were these buildings that were indestructible to plane impacts demolished and taken down? We know that whole scenario behind that. They were gonna fucking demolish them anyway, refurbish them, because it was more money to fucking demolish it. Why not just stage it and fucking have a terrorist attack and just fucking have them demolished and reap the fucking benefits of an insurance fucking scam at the expense of not only that, but we will go to fucking war and we will fucking get rich off of doing it. It sucks. People don't want to realize that they're capable of doing this shit. COVID. They fucking lied to everybody. Lied to you. Told everybody that you were going to die, you were going to get sick, don't fucking trust your fucking neighbors, had people fucking turning on against their family, their friends, their fucking husbands and wives, their kids, their grandkids. Everybody was turning against each other. They were turning people in left and right. Now we know it's a lie. People fell for it based on what they told us. See how easy it was to manipulate everybody, to get people to do what they wanted them to do? They will do anything they want at the benefit of themselves. That is one reality that I fucking realized. I know I'm not the only one that realizes that, thank God. But there are still people who to this day will fucking, they will turn on you. They'll turn your ass in a heartbeat. Why? Because they believe wholeheartedly that what they are doing is the right thing. You know, freedom of fucking speech means freedom of fucking speech. It means you could talk and say what you want to say. Like I said, I love my country with all my heart. I'm not suicidal. I'm not fucking crazy. I'm just a person who realizes and sees bullshit for what it is. Chemtrails. Do you think these people aren't fucking inoculation shots? Injecting our kids with fucking metal, with live fucking fetus parts from dead babies. Experimenting on a whole generation of children. It should make people question everything. Everything. If you do not question the narrative, you are just a sheep going along with the herd. And it's easier to do that. But it takes somebody who is saying, you know what, this is not right. I, this is just not jiving with me. And I don't know, dude. It's just really crazy. I mean, ancient history, ancient cultures, ancient societies, things that have been hidden from us for forever. And if we don't know our history, if we don't follow up, if we don't seek the answers, if we don't look for the truth, it's just going to be lost. History is being shoved to the back. These generations of kids will never know if we don't share this stuff with them, if we don't give them this information and this knowledge and have them questioning everything. If we don't tell them about things of our past, because it's going to get lost. It's never going to get brought up again. That is what they want. That is what they are doing. If they cannot give this knowledge and information, why do you think that they are suppressing a lot of stuff out of the schools now? Let's not share this information with them. If we stop them from teaching it or stop them from sharing, oh yeah, it was a decision because we didn't have fun. Bullshit. Because knowledge is power. A well-disciplined citizen is somebody who will do what they are told without question, will go along and will obey what they are told to do, and will be a good citizen and turn those in who do not do what they are told. At the price of false freedom, at the price of false justice, at the price of false security. But knowledge is power. The information that we seek and that we give out on these podcasts, people all over the world that give this information, that are trying to help those to progress. That's all we're trying to do, is just fucking help people to realize that. To wake people up. To give the information out there to them. So, like I said, this was just an open mic rant and rave. I don't know if anybody's even got on here. If you have, thank you. Appreciate you for being here. If you have something that you want to put into the comments, you guys can go ahead. I'll see it. I did put the link. Let me see. Did anybody want to come on? Ooh. Mm-hmm. I guess not. But I appreciate everybody for their support, and I appreciate everybody that has supported me over the year and a half that I've been doing this. And I'm glad that I'm not alone in this. I'm glad that I'm not, hey, there she is. What's up, Elko? Ellie. You never told me what the hell was all over your desk, because I was like trying to get a hold of you. Yeah, no worries. But I appreciate everybody that's come along and has supported the podcast, and we've had some really good conversations and really good topics that we've discussed, a lot of information on and about that. I think that the progression of what is happening, that we are coming of age. Oh, Jesus. So I take it you were trying to open it up? and you slit it. I'm gonna put this on here. So yeah, that sucks. No, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're okay. Like I said, I did. Yeah, it was a biggie. All right, you scared the crap out of us. Um, a lot of things that have happened. There's so much stuff that is coming out that is just being brought out. That is like, a lot of people don't question it or choose not to question it because they don't. It's like I said, it's one of those things where it's in one ear, not the other. That people just see it and then it's like, oh, it's gone. But for people like me that question this stuff, when we look into it, you're like digging, like, oh, okay, well, there's got to be more to this. And you look into it and you find out, oh shit, this leads to something else. Um, it's it's just what happens for people that are awake to the reality of what is going on around us in this matrix, so to speak. Um, and I am fortunate enough to be able to have people in my inner circle that share the same ideas and the same ideologies as myself. We may not see eye to eye a lot of times on things, but at least we can discuss it and share information and be like, yeah, well, you know what, that makes sense. Or I don't agree with that, but I see where you're coming from with it, which is why I said, this whole thing with the politics, I see it in a certain way because I look at it through my veteran eyes. I look at it through a military perspective. I look at it as being the son of a veteran and a person who has been in a military family growing up all my life. And I see where things could be heading, and I see the BS for what it is. And it's if your government is not looking out for the best interest of its people, truly looking out for the interest of its people. Because if they wanted to correct things, and there was that government official in the White House that says we have the ability with the technology to progress our society, we just chose not to do it because people in power have suppressed it. He literally came out and said it. We should be driving fucking flying cars right now, but they don't want to do it because of the politics of things, because people are getting rich off of gas, is basically what he was saying. We can't progress and further humanity because these people who do not want to progress because they're too fucking busy getting rich are not going to allow it to happen. Are we ever going to see the progression of humanity the way it was intended to be? I fucking hope so, because I think our kids and our grandchildren deserve a lot better than where we're fucking heading right now. So, with that, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. It's Friday. You guys should be out fucking enjoying yourselves instead of sitting here listening to me rant and rave. But I appreciate you being here. And thank you for being here. And those of you, like I said, who are in my close circle, who have helped me with this and who have been here since the beginning, thank you. I can't praise you enough. Um, I thank you because you guys see things the way I see them, and you see things with me um, for how it is. And we are able to, like I said, have these discussions and be able to talk. And for those who are joining the podcast and have not been here long enough and see um, things, and they're just like, your hair's getting blown back, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? This is it is a passion because it is deep, because it is something that I would like for people to be able to say, holy shit, let me look into this. And if you choose to do so, you do so. But if you don't, you don't. Like I said, I'm not here to shove anything into your brain and make you take what I'm telling you as truth. You need to search that out for yourself. You've got to do your due diligence and research the information on your own. You've got to be the one. You've got to be the one to look at this stuff and find that knowledge for yourself. And hopefully you can see it, and it raises something, a vibration in you that makes you wake up and say, holy crap, there is something that is really going on here. And like I said, with that, I hope everybody has a good weekend. I hope you guys are okay. Be safe. Take care of each other. And I will see you guys here next week on Seeker of the Unknown. And we will be touching bases on another topic. I'm not sure what I'm going to be covering, but if you got any ideas, throw some ideas out there on Facebook or on YouTube, and we'll get it going. And like I said, if you guys want to come onto the show, if you have questions or if you have ideas that you want to talk about on the show, I put the link out there. You guys are more than welcome to get on the show and click on it, and even just, like I said, reach out on Facebook or on YouTube and say, hey, man, this is something I was thinking about. I'd like to come onto the podcast and talk about it with you. We'll make it happen. So with that, thank you guys. Appreciate you. And I will see you guys next week. Be safe and question everything.